So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to PSGL F4 PlayStation, the season finale here at Silverstone. Very unseasonable weather conditions here because it is very sunny on this qualifying. I am Otaku Logan and I'm joined by Jake Warrior Combs.
Yeah, good evening everybody. Nice to be here for the season finale. Of course we had the dramatic title decider last week, but still a lot to play for and a few of these drivers fighting to impress ahead of the placements for next season. So a good result tonight could make a difference between you being in one tier or a higher one.
Absolutely, and as we remember, there is a quick break until season 32 in November, early November, where we'll be starting in Spain, and then we'll be having, I believe, 11 races this next season, so keep a watch out for that. Sign-ups, by the way, we'll be keeping you up to date about that at the end of the stream, so keep an eye for that if you can after the race. We are at the Silverstone circuit, a hallowed ground for the sport. This was the site of the very first Formula One World Championship Grand Prix back in 1950. Not the first ever F1 race in particular, that was about in the 40s. We're talking about the World Championship, of course. As we see the first few drivers coming out onto the track, including Debois Kieran, the newly crowned champion with 97 points total. You cannot lose, 21 points ahead of Girofu in second with 76. Keke's just about secured third place. He's 14 points ahead of Robbie in 66 points, and Robbie is 52. Samba could still possibly get, and in fact Marcel Grosny as well, both in 5th and 6th, both in 40 points, can still possibly catch Robbie, but it looks like a long shot. And behind them is Amboy in 7th with 39 points. So it's pretty much a battle for 5th place on tonight. There's also Armateo, who won last week and has only appeared twice. Has got some fantastic pace, so they've got to watch out for him too. So it's pretty much a big battle for 5th place tonight. 4 drivers in the running for 5th place in the championship.
Yeah, it's a tight one in the Drivers' Championship, and it's still a bit to play for on the constructors as well. Alpine are not settled at the top, and it's worth noting they do only have one driver tonight. Whereas second and third place teams, Mercedes and AlphaTauri, do have both drivers here. I think there's a mistake actually on the standings.
Yes.
It says Mercedes are second on 86, AlphaTauri are third on 87. I don't know how that works, but both of them could still catch Alpine if Kieran finishes outside the points and they both collect a handful. It's still possible. Alpine are the big favourites, though, but yeah. I mean that is largely down to Kieran's fantastic season. Yes, I think even his teammate would admit that.
Yes, I think we should teach whoever does the tables a bit of tips in Excel, because it says 112, 86, 87, 51, 43, 51, 41, 29, 28, 0. Yes, the actual order should be Alpine 112. AlphaTauri 87, Mercedes 86. Actually, are the points actually correct? I highly doubt it.
I believe I'll do some quick maths, but I think they should be fine.
Quick maths, listen to you.
Yeah, the points for second and third at least are right.
Yes.
I was mentioning prior to the stream, but I may apply to go on countdown. I wouldn't suggest the admin to F4 does the same, as Diogo Silva does the opening lap time, which is quickly dispatched by Amboy by half a second, and the early pace setter. But then Kieran, our champion, does a champion's lap and goes first man into the 26s. So first serious lap times in, and Kieran now driving without pressure, of course. We may see a more dominant performance from him tonight because he's had that pressure of trying to win the championship for the last few weeks. Now he can freewheel it for this last race, so we may see something very special from him.
Yeah, we could. But here's Armateo, the R standing for reserve, because that's what he's been. He was a reserve for Ferrari last time, and he won. And he's a reserve here, and he is in the Alpine, and you can see he seems to have backed off in his lap, but he has 3 laps of fuel on board. Not sure if he's going to go again, or he's forgot to set a lower fuel setting before coming in. I think the case is yes, he is starting another lap as an Alfa Romeo, or has decided to go off track for some reason, because he just wants to let him through. I guess he wants to be nice, but he's coming to the pit now. It's Simon. Fortunately, it's not Simon Carroll, or he'd be having a criticism trip. But yeah, it should be Alpine first with 112. Girofagou's third, by the way. Alpine first for 112, AlphaTauri second 87, Mercedes third on 86, so it's battle between them for the title pretty much. Second place, sorry. Should be Ferrari in fourth, 51, Alfa Romeo in fifth with 51, Aston Martin on sixth for 43, Red Bull seventh, 41, Williams eighth, 29, Haas ninth, 28, and McLaren with a goose egg in the bottom. Which is quite a shame, because, you know, it's a very well-respected team, McLaren.
Well, they do have Charlie Moon racing tonight, who is a full-time driver in the McLaren. Neither Spanias is a reserve, so his points won't count. But if Charlie Moon gets in the points today, we'll avoid that goose egg, which is quite surprising, really, because obviously the top 10 drivers get points, and it's usually such a close field across the tier. You don't really expect to ever see a team with 0 points come into the last race, so shame for them. But Charlie Moon's opening lap time suggests some hope. He's gone P6. Still Kieran's lap time yet to be beaten. The big shock for me in terms of early lap times is LRB popping it into P3. Not really seen that sort of pace from him in the last sort of 3-4 weeks. So
we haven't.
maybe this is a turn up for him. I mean, in terms of his season as a whole, where is he in the standings? He's in 9th place and 28 points, but he hasn't, other than a 4th place at Mexico, they've kind of been towards the lower end of the points finishers. So this could be a turn up for the books for him, and it'd be good to see him maybe end the season with his best result.
Let's hope he gets a good result tonight then. Joey is in 13th because he has not started a lap yet. Here he is on his next lap. Of course, Joey in that pink helmet of his has he's not been having the greatest run. He's appeared 5 times, this being his 6th for F11, so he's pretty much done half the season. As you can see, he has scored no points at all during this season, which is surprising because he has shown some great form in his past here on PSGL. I think it was an F2 at one point, and then he had a controversy which we'll not go into, but lost him a lot of respect. But he's trying to rebuild it all now. Thanks, Jake Humphries, by the way. You know what I mean by that.
Yes, but I mean, he's eventually validated his lap, Jerry, unfortunately. But I mean, he struggled for pace in this tier, but I wouldn't say he's really been involved in anything controversial at all, which is good for him. And maybe next season he'll be given a platform and a tier in which he can start to show some of that potential again. All it takes is a couple of good results, and he may just get that confidence back. Samba's just coming around the final few corners now. Of course, in the AlphaTauri, one of the teams that could snatch the constructors away from Alpine. What does Samba do in his opening lap? Good enough for 4th, which isn't too shabby. And Roby are crossing the line now. He goes P3. So, again, very close to Kieran's lap time, but still no one topping it just yet. But nice attempt from Roby, and he has been a driver who I would definitely say we've been impressed with this season. He's got 4 podiums, including a win and fastest lap in Jeddah. He wasn't here last week because, you know, we've been saying actually, if it wasn't for some of his DNFs and obviously not competing last week, he could have been even higher up in the championship than he is.
He could have been indeed, yes. 8 hundredths behind Kieran. Speaking of Kieran, here he is on his lap. Down the Wellington Straight he goes. This circuit, by the way, is a 5.9 kilometre circuit and has been on the Formula 1 character since its inception. But it has alternated in some years with Brands Hatch when hosting the British Grand Prix, and Aintree in the 50s. Who remembers Aintree, let's be honest. But it's been host permanently of the British Grand Prix since 1987, when Brands Hatch pulled out of hosting, and has hosted many times the British Grand Prix, and has also hosted the one-off race, the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, to commemorate the 70th anniversary sport, and is pretty much a filler race to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Kieran now on his way to Stowe Corner, which has been left untouched since 1995, I think, because they have cut and changed it a few times. This corner was changed up in 2010 so they could fit the wing pits in. right there. And he goes even faster. He goes 84 thousandths faster, and that's going to be a tough ask for all the other drivers. I think LRB is going on another lap, and Jirofu as well. Charlie Moon has set a 27.257, and he's on another lap now, and he's got to be careful not to hit the Alpine of Kieran. That's just finished a lap. Oh, and he spun it, so he's going to have to go again. A waste of a lap down there for Charlie Moon. Keke crosses the line with 27.385 right now and needs to set another lap if he wants to get further up the order and cement his third place in the championship.
Yep, Debo Zillaire crossing the line. He goes P4 in the Mercedes, ahead of his more reputable teammate based on this season at least. But speaking of his teammate, Jirofu is improving, and he's just about to come around the final couple of corners now. Currently P7, but this improvement should change that position. Where does Jirofu go? He goes P2, joins his arch nemesis across the season, really, Kieran, on the front row of the grid. So it's the two stars of F4 leading the way currently.
Yeah, 1/10, give or take a thousandth of a second off Kieran's time. So Kieran seemingly untouchable right now, but that could all change in the final 6 minutes and 39 seconds of the session. As you see, Joey going on another lap again. He's invalidated twice. He doesn't want to do it again. You can see his car's a bit dirty from going on the grass. A few altercations with the grass. You don't want to be having that with your car. You might damage its aero if you're not careful. Makes his way around Aintree to the Wellington Straight. The yellow flag there, please ignore that, it's just slow moving cars. It should be a white flag, not a yellow flag. Don't know why they can't put a white flag in. Maybe just they don't want to confuse NASCAR fans. And there goes Joey again, yet to be the only driver without a time. He's got to get on the board, he's going to be starting there. And you don't want to be doing that. LRB about to cross the line, and his time is good enough for third place, 400ths behind Jirofu.
Yeah, nice lap again from LRB, showing that first lap was definitely no fluke. Backing it up on his second attempt. Nicely done indeed. I'm just trying to see who's potentially on a lap here at the moment.
I don't think anyone is, apart from Robbie.
Yeah, I can't see. Amwoy might be on an improvement. He's just coming up Stone now. No, he's not. The second sector time it showed me was very deceiving.
260. Yeah, that's probably one of the big glitches. Even when you're on your out lap, it shows that you're on 0 laps with nothing next to it, which is a signification that you're on a fast hot lap.
Yeah,
he is on a proper hot lap now.
Yeah, a few drivers just beginning laps. 5 minutes to go in the session, so we're boiling down towards those final attempts. Kieran leading the way at the moment. Jirofu on the front row with him. Hopefully, I'm just hoping at the very least for Jirofu tonight, his internet basically keeps him involved for the entirety of the race, because he has been unlucky on a few occasions with his internet, sadly costing him a few good results, which could have changed the direction of the title race, could maybe not have done, we'll never know, but it would just be good for him to have a nice clean race with no outside issues.
Yeah, outside issues have played a part in some races before. Pedro Silva making his way around Aintree now, and Robbie making his way out Cops. Amwoy also on a lap, but he is invalidated. Spanias all on a lap too, and I think Joey's gone on another lap. Yes, he has. So he's gone on worn tyres. Thankfully, he doesn't have to start on them since the new rules have been in place. Let's catch up with Robbie, still on a lap. Pedro Silva still on a lap. I see 4 drivers on a non-invalidated lap here. And all the other drivers
Roby's had a slow middle sector, so he won't be improving. Joey's gone way off the road. Joey, man. Well, it's like he had a snap at the rear, and it just cost him. Yeah. Pedro Silva's not improving either. I think these drivers are probably all mostly going to come into the pits with 3.5 minutes to go. Spanias was on an improvement actually, but he's opted to pit. They all want to get out for their final runs, so kind of abandoned those attempts. We've already got Charlie Moon and PF Happy out for their final attempts. Everyone apart from Joey has set what you would call a representative time.
Yes. Joey 1:42.891. That was obviously marred by a spin in Luffield, or after Brooklands. I think it was after Brooklands and before Luffield. So not much happening apart from Simon, Pierre Papi, and Charlie Moon on a lap. So we'll just give you a mention of our sponsors. Our title sponsor for this season, and hopefully next season, is GT Omega, one of the top suppliers of sim racing equipment.
Yep, and there's also Grid Rival as well, and I believe you can join our PSGL Fantasy League if you want to get involved with that. There is a link, I believe, in the description to that. So yeah, get involved, and there are some prizes to be won, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's already been one, considering that Max Verstappen's won the World Championship. Spoiler alerts. Also, I forgot to mention, GT Omega has a discount code. If you use the term PSGL at checkout, you get 5% off on GT Omega products. You can also find them on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah, well worth checking out.
Absolutely.
They do some fantastic stuff. Charlie Moon on his lap, and I wonder if he's going to feel like he got impeded by that Red Bull of Roby there. It wasn't a clear impede, but it clearly put Charlie Moon off, and he's just got to hope now he can maybe save his battery, and if he's got enough fuel, he might be able to go again.
Yeah, he's going to have to go again. 1.5 seconds. He's going to have to, he can't go in low in relaxed fuel mode, which I forgot, lean mode, because you can't do that on a hot lap. It's only the out lap you can do it. So he's going to feel hard done by, but other drivers on the lap, Simon, Diogo Silva about to begin his lap. Papi is backed off. They're going to go again, though, because they've got enough fuel. Giroffi on his lap, Kieran about to start his, and LB also about to start his. So Charlie Moon's going to have to go again. Diogo Silva making his way to start his lap. Simon coming through Cops now. Now through Maggots, Beckett, and Chappell. Oh, you can see he's lost the momentum. That is an invalidation. And he's going to have to go again. And he's going to have to conserve some fuel because he's not going to make it to the end at this rate. 1.1. It's a worrying sign, unless he isn't going to... He's going to come back... Well, he's definitely not going to be sitting a lap now. He's in the wall, and he has damaged his car. And Samba has come back into the pits, so that's the end of his session. Coming through the line is Papi to start one more lap. Joey needs to set a lap, and fast. Who else should we be looking at? Jake.
Giroffi just coming through the middle sector, and he's a 10th up nearly on his... Yeah, so this is going to be close. Seeing how his final sector goes, if he hooks it up, he could be about to take provisional pole away from Kieran, who wasn't quicker through the first part of the lap, although it was incredibly marked. Going to be the first on the series lap to take the checkered flag. Giroffi across the line. Does he take provisional pole? Yes, he does! By 35 thousandths of a second, super close, but Kieran is on an improved lap as well, and what can LRB do?
LRB coming around the final corner, and it will be a faster time than last time, but not fast enough. He remains third. He only got a 40th of a second off. And now Kieran coming through the final corner. Can he take it back from Giroffi? Yes, he can. You can put your money on it. He is now 126.607 on pole by over a tenth. Is there anyone else that can stop him? Robbie coming through final corners now.
He's on a good lap.
It is a good lap, but is it good enough? No, it's not! 28 thousandths short!
Oh, I knew it was a good lap looking at the second sector at the time, but just falls short, but he gets on the front row of the grid.
Out at the final corner. Matteo coming through now. He has won on 2 occasions, and he gets the fastest lap with 700ths of a second at the last. At the last, our Matteo has pipped his teammate on reserve duty. Unbelievable finish to this session. Our Matteo saves it to the last lap and shows why he wants that third place in the championship. Or not third place in the championship, sorry, 5th place in the championship.
Yeah, Matteo's taken part in only 5 races this season. He wasn't actually in the league until 3 races in. And he's got 2 wins to his name. He struggled for results outside of that, but pace-wise, he's going to be a big name to watch out for next season, whether he's in this tier or maybe in F3. Who knows? It depends. Obviously, who's staying and the speed, but he's got the pace. There's no doubt about it. And the reserve has just shown up his champion teammate.
Yes, sorry, I have to get the leaderboard. Matteo, Kieran, Robbie, Giroffu, LRB, Jam, Pedro Silva, Amoy, Debris Hilaire, and Spanias, your top 10. I think I missed someone there. But I couldn't get that leaderboard in at the last minute. Sorry, I tried to cut you off there, Jake. But we had to get them reported. You know, we could have some people that are very vision impaired, and we want to give them all the info we can. So apologies if we didn't get everyone in. But now it's time for the final race of the season. And of course, as we have done this season with the cold tyres, we're not going to be having a formation lap. Which is quite a shame. They need to fix that, and it hasn't been addressed yet. So hopefully by the next season we'll have a fix and we will get a formation lap.
Yeah, it would be good to have that formation lap. Obviously, you can go over the tyres that everyone's starting on, and obviously it builds up the tension as well. There's a lot that it adds to having a formation lap in there. But instead we have to go straight to the action, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely something that hopefully will be addressed in future. But it's an all-Alpine front row, albeit only one driver obviously will score the points for Alpine. But yeah, in terms of briefly mentioning the constructors' fight, it's fair to say there isn't really looking like much of a challenge to Alpine. Coming into the race, but over 26 laps of Silverstone, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off now because we're about to get started. 3 seconds to the lights out. And here we go. It's been a long season, but it's about to come to an end. 5 lights ahead of the drivers, both Alpines in the start, and it's lights out. Away we go. Here at Silverstone, the home of British motorsport, and it's the 2 Alpines that lead into the corner, but Robbie challenging for second place, coming through the first 2 corners, and he has got it so, and now he's going to go after Mateo for first place. Meanwhile, further back, a battle for 5th or 6th happening between Jam and Anwoy. Some cars going off the track here, and Simon being one of them who has been caught up in the action.
Keke spun.
Keke has spun. Keke spun. There's been another few cars, by the way, that both AlphaTauris have suffered. And
Here
it's
comes
side
Robbie
by
for
side.
the lead.
Robbie for the lead. And then the outside.
Oh, Kieran and Giroffu have collided.
Oh,
Huge
there
crash.
is massive contact. I'm not sure what in the world is going on here. I'm going to check the chat. Yeah, nothing happening. I think there's too much happening. Devils went off the track. And there's so much action happening in the mid-pack for 5th place. Is that Joey up to 6? Are you kidding me? Where has he come from?
He's not finished with 6. He wants P5 as well, Eddie.
Oh, it's desync, I think. It looks very desynced, and Joey is somehow up to 5th, and I don't know. And Simon and LRB about to lose positions to Charlie Moon, who now goes up to 10th place, the last points position, and Robbie's on the outsider for Mateo. Give us a better angle than that. Robbie takes the lead. What in the world? How has Joey went from 5th, 16th to 5th? I have absolutely no idea. He's made up, 17th. He's made up 12 positions. 12! 12!
I remember we saw an astonishing start in F14 from Quinn the other night, but I think this tops it from Joey. Fair play.
Yeah.
There's a lot of carnage, and he just worked his way through it. And now I tell you what, a lot of the fancy drivers have been involved in that early chaos, and it now gives an opportunity for a few different drivers to maybe clinch a win tonight. We've got a very mixed up order right now.
Indeed we have. Everyone except Keke has changed places dramatically, so you can really see the skill. The biggest losers, Kieran Giroffu and LRB. I don't think Kieran would be feeling too cold at that, considering he's already wrapped up the championship. But he does want the win after all. I mean, it's all about a performance on the day. 3 drivers have come into the picture: Giroffu, LRB, and Samba. And Samba starting to struggle. Oh, he's really lost it now. LRB goes past Giroffu for 15th place. And as we come through, it will be Robbie that leads by 7/10, Rear Mateo in 2nd. This is crucial for the 5th place in the championship, by the way.
Yeah, it's nice one from Roby taking the lead and now obviously trying to pull away. I think Giroffu went up the inside of Kieran and the contact was made, spun Kieran round. Kieran's obviously carried on because he doesn't have damage. But I believe when Giroffu sort of half spun in the middle of the track, it was kind of helpless for LRB, and he just went into him. He had nowhere to go. So
Whoa! Sorry, I cut you off there. It's a battle between the two Haas's and the McLaren of Charlie Moon, who is now stuck in a sandwich of an American sandwich. This is not the American dream at all, because they want Pierre Papi to get through for 8, but he's lost it now to Charlie Moon. Charlie Moon just in the middle of that. Simon awaiting 2, and look in front of them is Joey, who's just lost 5th place to Pedro Silva, who is now up 2 places from starting 7th, but still rubbing the lead.
yeah, just to mention earlier, LRB was a real innocent victim of that, which is a shame because his qualifying performance was very encouraging. But you never know, one way to go. Could be a safety car too to mix things up, and best to keep going and see what happens. No retirement still. Joffrey comes in to serve his penalty and put on a set of soft tyres. It's pit lane speeding penalty, but Roby leading away and looking very comfortable at the moment, you have to say, as Charlie Moon tries to overtake Diogo Silva and does so. So he's no longer in a Haas sandwich, he's leading the American team.
Yes, he is. Chaos and catastrophe in the first few laps. Can't get better than this in PSGL.
Simon pitting after 2 laps on the hard tyres.
Whoa! Sorry, Pierre Papi went right off the track at the final corner. Luckily he recovers, but he's really starting to struggle in 9th place. I should mention he's on medium tyres. So is Charlie Moon. Joey, by the way, got all those overtakes in hard tyres. Amazing.
Yeah, fantastic start from him, indeed. And just now trying to settle down. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Don't know what that's for.
I think that's Girofu, who's letting all the drivers through. Spanias has thrown the towel in and retired. Girofu's
ghosting, so I don't know if he's disconnected.
I think, yeah, he's already pit twice, I think. So that's why he's probably had to unlap himself. Not unlap himself, get lapped, because here comes no, that's not our Mateo, that is... Hold on, no, this isn't, this is Girofu actually glitching out. Girofu should not be in 17th, that is wrong. It is a glitch, he should be in 11th, I believe.
I'm not sure, because he has been in the pits twice, and I'm pretty certain that, because he had the damage, I think he might have just left the lobby, and I think the AI might be driving around for him now.
Oh yeah, you're probably right, actually.
Yeah, because he just pulled over to let that was a very AI kind of move, letting the car through.
Yeah.
So I think Girofu's left the lobby and his AI is just driving around for him. It would explain the change to soft tyres, because that is a very random move.
Yeah, quite sure. Oh, Charlie Moon's cut the corner, and as soon as I see it, it's the slam dunk penalty, 3 warnings, and you're out, son. And he's right behind Joey as well, so that is going to make it an even bigger challenge. And looking at the outside, Charlie Moon for a move on Joey, but that's going to lose him some time there. Trying to go on the outside, couldn't execute it, and as a result, losing time, but he's going to get it back with DRS, but Joey's got DRS too, so he's going to stay ahead for the meantime, or is he? Because here comes Charlie Moon with a move, and he's almost running to the back of him, coming into Luffield, but he stays put in 7th place, now coming through Woodcote. It looks like that Pedro Silva is going to hold on to 5th, Joey 6th, and Charlie Moon 7th, and behind them the 2 Haas's who are trying to catch up. This is pretty important for the Haas boys because, of course, they are wanting to try not finish worst of the rest if you don't count McLaren, because McLaren cannot possibly be any higher than last place. So they do not want to finish second last, Haas. They want to beat the Williams team.
Yeah, absolutely. They haven't had the season that they would hope for. But both of them currently running in the top 10, so there's hope for points tonight. Matteo staying with Roby at the front and just starting to increase the pressure on the race leader. They're pulling clear of Amroy pretty comfortably at the moment, I would say. Now the gap up to 2.6 seconds, so it's looking already becoming like a two-way fight for the race lead. As Girofu sets the fastest lap, I don't know if that's him doing it or the AI doing it, but yeah, he's in.
It's definitely not him. He's probably left the session. The 2 Haas's could be having an internal battle, maybe not, because Pierre Papi has just spun around, and no, that wasn't commentator's cursor, it was just making it, and he... Oh, come on! That is absolutely ridiculous. Pierre Papi has been unfairly disqualified for going the wrong way. The wrong way! He was trying to get back on the track. I'm sorry, but that is a horrible flaw in this game. He was trying to get back on the track. He was never going in the wrong way. As Joey and Charlie Moon are battling through cops. And they're still battling as they're approaching. Sorry for the black bars getting in the way when they get cops. They're still fighting. Charlie Moon seems to have cut the corner again. You don't want to be doing that too much, but yeah, Pierre Papi, I feel like he was hard done by the game there.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Pierre Papi. Nothing he really did wrong, just like you say, an unfortunate flaw with the game right now. But a shame for Pierre Papi to end the season like that.
Whoa!
As Joey and Charlie Moon going at it. And this is fantastic racing between the pair of them. No quarter to give him, but Charlie Moon has got the position for now, but has he? Because Joey's coming back at him through the final corner. This is great stuff between them, and they continue to go side by side up to turn one. Joey and Charlie Moon holding it round the outside. That's fantastic driving. And they're going to continue to fight as we go through the lap. This is stunning, and Diogo Silva's probably thinking, I don't really want to make this very wide.
Oh no, don't. Please don't. And there he is behind them, and look, Joey right in front of him is Charlie Moon, and he wants that position back. He's got 10 places. Isn't that enough for you? As they make their way into Brooklands, and Diogo Silva is receiving a glimmer in his eye and thinking, oh, I want a piece of that action. And Charlie Moon's lost it. He's went wide, and he nearly hits Joey coming out of it. And Joey retakes 6th position. It was handed to him on a plate, and now Diogo Silva is joining the fray as they make their way through cops. And that is a horrible move from Joey into cops, and he's went very wide, and that gives Charlie Moon a chance to come back into the fight. As they, oh my, sliding through Maggots and Beckett's. You don't want to be doing that. One false move and you're going to be donezo. And here's Charlie Moon again with the advantage and makes the move side by side into Stowe. Has Joey got any reply? No, he does not. And Charlie Moon somehow gets 6th place.
Yeah, and if these two keep fighting, there's another driver about to join the fray, and it's the championship winner Kieran, who is right there now as well, so this could become a much bigger fight very shortly, and the more they fight, the more they're detaching themselves away, as Debo Zales coming back at Kieran behind for P9, and Kieran actually loses a place to the Mercedes driver.
Oh, that's a rarity, and his ghosted teammates behind there. That shouldn't be happening. Does this big battle remind you of anything from this season?
Just a bit, yeah. Pedro Silva's picked up a penalty in P5, not what he needed. Kind of running his own little race, although he's just starting to fall back into the clutches of this group, so he needs to keep motoring, because the last thing he wants is to get involved. And it's very much now a top four pulling away, and these guys becoming involved in quite a scrap here over the lower end of the points places. Matteo's still on the back of Roby, and I don't know, he's probably just biding his time right now. He's probably happy with the pace that Roby's running at, and he can stick with it comfortably without being held up.
Yeah, half a second gap though. The DRS has given our Matteo a morale boost, to be fair, as we approach lap 9 of the race. We've just about completed a third of this final race of the season here at Silverstone. And the fans out in force, you can see just the third time they have convened we've got a spinner there, and that is...
Samba.
Is Samba, who is already lapped, and he... Oh, come on, man! I'm sorry, but these are just ridiculous penalties. You thought the FIA was bad. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. There's nothing compared to this. He's got a penalty for exceeding track limits. He lost a lot of time, and he's got a penalty for trying to rejoin the track in a safe manner. I'm sorry, but I'm about to lose my rag, George Morgan style, and I don't want to do that, to be fair.
I tell you something, Pedro Silva, he's probably thinking about a longer game here, but he's got all his battery to use, and he's falling into this group of cars. I would seriously suggest he starts using just a bit of his battery, otherwise he's going to be coming bored in a battle he doesn't really need to be involved in. Because he's got nearly 100% battery remaining, and he's falling into the clutches of these guys behind. and we've already seen these guys are prepared to fight. So he could be about to be overtaken here, and yeah, he needs to start using his battery, and he is doing now. But it might be too late.
And here he goes, fighting evil by moonlight and winning love by daylight. Sorry, that's Sailor Moon, not Charlie Moon. Had to make the anime reference for once. An anime I haven't watched in a while, in fact. Go watch it. Charlie Moon. Seems like a cross of Charlie Chaplin and Button Moon, maybe. Or it might be one of the clangers.
Yeah, Pedro Silva loses the place, and I'm interested to see if he's now a bit more aggressive with his battery usage, because he's going to need to get a move on with things. But yeah, I don't know, Joey's kind of backed off a little bit from Charlie Moon's pace. Of course, we're getting to that stage now as well where the medium tyres should start going off, although I would almost argue Charlie Moon seems to have found more pace the longer his stint's gone on.
Well, Debo has let Kieran through. I'm not sure what's going on here. But Debo just moved to the left and gave Kieran a position. I'm not sure what's going on, but it was pretty interesting. Maybe he may have made a mistake. I couldn't see there. But Pedro Silva coming up close once again to Charlie Moon, and he's actually starting to use his ERS.
Yeah, potentially now realises the importance of trying to be in front of these guys. And he'll have a lot more ERS to play with than Charlie, so if he gets a good exit here onto the hanger straight, he's got a great chance of passing into Stowe. Let's see. Oh, massive advantage.
But they're going to go side.
The hand of frustration goes from Charlie Moon as he pits to go onto the hard tyre, and he's sped into the pit lane, and McLaren hoping to avoid a season of no points. That penalty is not going to help them. Samba, I suspect, is retiring.
Yeah.
Bringing his car into
he's
retire.
left the session before he's retired, so I'm taking that as a de facto retirement from the race. So we are now down to effectively 13 drivers if Giraffe stops ghosting.
Yeah, indeed. So we are losing drivers hand over fist in terms of the Charlie Moon now. I've been interested to see on this hard tyres where he comes out once everyone else pits. But that 5-second penalty will cost him dear as Kieran drives up to the back of Diogo Silva for P7.
And he'll be the first driver to have made his pit stop in terms of normality. And a bit of an undercut, I'd have to say. Kieran on the back of Diogo Silva. Got two Silvas tonight, Silva being a very common surname, to be all honest. The gap now 2 tenths, and he's got a lot of speed coming out of Cops there. And it will be interesting to see if he goes for a move down the hanger straight. And he's really itching to get a move on. As you can see, the dust that kicks up when you make the move. Oh, it's just plain sailing for the new champion. There he goes. Cool as you like. And into 7th place he goes.
Nicely done into Stowe. Use the effect of the DRS and the slipstream, bit of battery as well, and Kieran up into P7 and absolutely motoring along. Next target for him will be Joey. He was lucky, Kieran, in a sense. Obviously unlucky with a contact in the first place, but lucky that he didn't get any damage in that one incident, and he's just able to pick his way through these cars now. So some good points still on offer for Kieran, even if it isn't quite the race he was hoping for tonight.
Yes, should mention, by the way, Joey back into 6th now with the pitting of Charlie Moon. You think they'll box, the hard runners will box in lap 14, 15, 16?
Yeah, it's going to be, that's the window I would sort of expect everyone to come in.
He's got a penalty again.
Yeah, it's not his first one either, so 6 seconds of penalties now for Kieran. He wants to have a bit of fun this last race. He seems to have forgotten all about track limits, fortunately for him. But yeah, it really does show what a great start and race that Joey's having so far. That he's able to hold that P6 with no penalties thus far.
Sorry, Robbie has went a bit wide at Chapel there, and that's actually given Rory Mateo a chance to fight back here. Now the gap, just 4 tenths, just dipping into the... Oh, and a pump fake from Robbie. Legal, by the way. It's just, it looked a little sketchy, but he didn't cross any lines, so he's perfectly fine.
Oh, Joey and Kieran. Oh, and Kieran pits.
Yeah, Kieran's coming to the pits. It was looking like, oh, is there going to be a battle? But no, Kieran's going to take the pits. You can't serve those penalties. You can't serve track limits penalties. It's just penalties for example, 5-second penalties, speeding in a pit lane, etc. Obvious corner cutting, you know the drill, not track limits warnings. So that will be him in the pits alongside Diogo Silva, both on medium tyres, I presume, for the next 14 laps. That should get them to the end of the race, unless there is, of course, the intervention of a safety car.
Yeah, indeed. Slightly earlier, potentially, than scheduled to come into the pits, but Kieran Diogo Silva looking to make the most of those new medium tyres and potentially gain a few positions, which isn't a bad move, considering the tight group of cars they were involved in. It could pay dividends for them to get the undercut now and then nurse the tyres through the stint.
Half a second separates the top two. Matteo looking for his third win in 4 finishes. He's DNF'd the others that he didn't finish. And 6/10 in the gap. I think Mateo's had the better corners here in this lap. Joey gets on the penalty box and he's had a slide out too, so that ain't going to hamper his chances trying to get close to Pedro. He does have DRS though, because it was after DRS. And Mateo's coming to the pits. It's an undercut.
Yeah, Roby tried to fool him last lap. Mateo's decided enough is enough. He's coming into the pits this lap. Kieran, by the way, has come out of the pits just behind Charlie Moon. So that fight is very much ongoing. And that is a fight for position because they were fighting prior to the pit stops in that group of cars. And Kieran, on those fresh mediums, looking to...
Joffrey's retired.
Yeah, I wonder if he's retaken control of his car and just retired it in the pits. So we're down now to effectively 13 cars with Samba being driven by an AI, and Kieran has made the move on Charlie Moon already, so yep. Kieran making those fresh mediums work nicely. Diogo Silva, I feel like he's lost a bit of time to Kieran actually, because I don't think he was 4 seconds behind him when he came into the pits.
He doesn't, and I should mention Armateo has come out in 8th, about 2 seconds behind Keke, but that may be longer because of course he has cold tyres. You can't. I don't believe you can put the tyre blankets on the tyres anymore. Am I mistaken? Unless I'm mistaken.
I don't believe so. In terms of P2 in the championship as well, Keke is not really having the sort of race that could have propelled him ahead of Giroffu even after his retirement. Keke's P7 on the road, but effectively still has a stop to make. He's going to be fighting for maybe a point or two this race. Yep. But what's key for Kieran now is he gets past him pretty quickly. No, I was like Matteo rather, not Kieran. I got confused between the Alpines.
Yeah, and Roby has pitted, so it will be interesting to see where he will come out from this. That means Amoy and Jam are going to follow suit. Pedro follows suit. But Joey says, nope, I'll go over one more lap. He's going to do the overcut. And Joey, well, he needs to. He's got a 3-second penalty. Where's Armateo going to come out in this? He's currently being hogged by Keke, and Keke is not helping him at all. Keke is not really even involved in this battle, but he comes through and makes the move with the tyres coming to an advantage. And I should mention Joey has taken the lead, of course. And it's going to be Robbie, Amoy, Jam, Armateo. Where is he coming? Where's Robbie? There he is. He's still ahead. And by 2 seconds, the undercut has not worked out. I think his squabbling with Keke has cost him dear. And Keke's not pit either.
Yeah, I think that Keke is precisely the reason why Roby's still in front of Matteo. Matteo will be secretly fuming in that cockpit, but it was 4th position.
Sorry to cut you off. Debo has went off the track. I think he's just come in. I think that he's not getting used to these cold tyres, and he has lost time and positions. Pedro Silva now it's the battle of the Silvers here. Pedro and Diogo Silva. And it's a battle into Brooklands, and Diogo Silva swipes through into 9th. Oh, and Pedro loses it and goes through the grass like a lawnmower in my back garden and loses position to Debo. And the yellow flags come out to indicate that there is danger, but not anymore. A green flag. Armateo is already behind Robbie. I don't know what's been happening. It was like a 2-second gap. I think it was the tyres. The tyres, this side by side for the leads. The net leads. Still side by side. Joey is not pit yet. Through into Vale. And Robbie right on the back. And now they're going to go side by side in Club Corner. Side by side across the line. Imagine if that was the last lap. Mateo sets the fastest lap. Robbie gets back into the leads. And right behind Mateo, nearly runs into the back of him, coming through Abbey into the loop now. And Village. It's still a lead for Robbie, and Mateo needs to use his DRS and he only has 17% energy, and Robbie doesn't have much either, to be fair.
No, Robbie's got the lead back, as it were, and Mateo can't do anything. And with the extra ERS, Robbie's in a nice position. All about fighting. I don't think Joe will be minding it at all. He's not rapidly gaining on them. Kieran's really benefited from the pit stop phase, it's worth pointing out. He's comfortably clear of that group of cars he was fighting with, and in fact he could be starting to put Jaume under some pressure in a few laps' time, but he, of course, does have those penalties to be considered.
Absolutely. Mateo started on pole, but now he's fighting for the net lead, but he's lost some time from Robbie, and now he's going to have to try and regain it with his DRS on, and Joey has sped in the pit lane, and he is going to be adding to a long list of the penalties he has, and he should be falling down the order here, because here come the leading pack. The top two now, they will reclaim first and second positions, and 6/10 the gap as they cross the line.
Yes, indeed. Keke, I just wonder, Keke did pit on the opening lap, I'm guessing due to damage. I wonder if Keke's not planning on stopping again. So he could be one to consider. Obviously, he's not really got the pace now, obviously, with those old hard tyres, but maybe just trying to keep those hard tyres till the end and maybe snatch some points. Joey has just rejoined behind Charlie Moon, but in front of Diogo Silva. But on cold tyres, the Haas is going to try and pass him, but Joey parked his car in the perfect place. But he's not going to be able to hold him up for too long, I suspect.
No, there he goes. Diogo Silva, and Joey falls off the track for a second there. This is just making it worse for Joey, who has showed some promise at the start. Made up 12 positions on one lap. I've never seen anything like it. But he seems to have fallen back now and in 9th place.
Yeah, and he's still struggling to get those tyres of temperature. So here comes Debo, still there in the Mercedes as well, trying to pressurise Joe. Is he going to make a move into Cops? No, he thinks better of it, and I don't blame him. Wow, that was super close, and I think we're going to have potentially a move between Jaume and Keke soon as well for P4. Jaume on much fresher, better tyres. I don't think that'll be too much of a fight.
I don't think so either, but Debo closing up, but Joey's closing up on Diogo Silva again. The gap's still at the top now, 8/10, and Robbie set the fastest lap. It's looking very good for Robbie, but we cannot forget there's still a race to be had here in the mid-pack, and Joey goes over the curb there. That'll give Joey a chance to make some time up. And Debo makes a mistake of his own coming around the club corner, and now losing time there. And should mention Keke has lost position to Jaume, both the same team by the way. Amoy's up there too. We've got LFR 345, and here comes Joey taking capitalism in his own hands, but Diogo Silva comes back at him and takes the position back, and now he's going to go for it again. And just runs past him, and Debo watches on at the chaos, hand folding in front of him, and he takes a shot at it! Takes a shot for 9th place, and goes on the outside of Luffield. Can he make it stick? I don't think so. No, he can't. But what's he going to do? Oh, he bashes wheels with Diogo Silva! Oh no, don't do it! Don't do it! They're going to go side by side into Cops! Side by side into Cops, and he goes wide. Maybe he shouldn't have went for the move. He's lost time there to Diogo Silva. What a brave try it was from Debo, though. Not many people are going to go for that and get out unscathed.
No, and Joey will be smiling all the way down the hangar straight. He'll be loving things because he's just been able to pull clear while these two have been fighting away. Debo potentially coming back at Diogo Silva, but thinks better of it into Stowe. Keke doesn't stay out on those hard tyres, so he'll be dropping down the order. He pits, I'm assuming, for a set of soft tyres.
Yes, soft tyres. It'll be pretty interesting to see how he does on it, but usually I see him struggle near the end. But what is his conservation of soft tyres like? Soft tyres tend to run out very fast at this track because you're going to be going around many fast corners. Whoa! Devil! My goodness! Nearly running into the back of Diogo Silva, who's starting to shiver in that car, I have to say. Going around Village Corner, but this is surely a pass for Devil to get past. And Diogo Silva has no choice other than to concede the position. 8th place for Devil.
Yep, and this is very close coming out of the pits actually between Keke and LRB outside the points, and this is probably not what Keke wants on fresh soft tyres, is to try and deal with a rapid Alfa Romeo behind him, but watch out, for Pedro Silva, because he's right there with Debo and Diogo Silva now. The two Silvas basically streaking up to the Mercedes. This could be about to take off this battle.
Yeah, you could say it's the rise of the Silver Surfers. The Silver Surfers. Anyway, they're coming towards Debo now. 3 temps into the 2s. But no bueno. It's still 8th place for Debo. And in fact, Pedro is starting to close up on his brother in name only, I think. Confirm that to me. And Jam gets on the penalty box. 3 seconds for track limits warnings, and Pedro Silva, I think Diogo Silva made a mistake out that last corner, and he's going to take back 9th place, and that is a nice way to get through. Pedro Silva and Diogo Silva, I see he is struggling. Remember, these tyres are older than Pedro's, so yeah, it's got to be pretty careful now, as Charlie Moon and Joey are battling for 6th. I just joined him as he makes the move. And he's back into 6th place now. Is Joey going to find a challenge? By the way, the gap at the top is now being reduced to 4 temps, Jake.
Yeah, you just beat me too. I was actually going to say Matteo looking like he's on the charge again, and Roby's going to have his mirrors full of raging Alpine, and he's not using his battery down the straight. So clearly thinking a move is better off. Another time he closed right up under braking. So if he had used his battery there, he would have been in the good position to take the lead. These two have really been the class of the field, and it would be great if they could put on a fantastic show to see who takes the race win. They've got a comfortable margin behind them, so they can afford to do a little bit of battling here, and hopefully that's what we're going to get.
That'd be a spectacular way to end this season. 6 laps to go, no titles on the line, but I can tell you Alpine would love to secure the Constructors' Championship. Actually, well, they can't because Matteo is actually reserve. But it would be a great way for Alpine to win the Constructors' Championship. They're almost there. Kieran just has to finish where he is right now, and he will secure the Constructors' title for Alpine, who have had a fantastic season with Kieran at the wheel. And Kieran's right behind Jam, so he could make it 4th. But remember, he does have penalties to boot, so that may make a difference at the end of the race. Top 3 haven't got penalties, though, and the top 2 are right within half a second. They're just like, what can I say? A few meters width as they make their way through Cops again, and starting to close up. Is this a chance for Armateo to take the lead back, Jake?
Yeah, as we know, he's only scored points at 2 races, and they've both been race wins, so this guy knows how to win. So Roby will be anxious looking behind him to see what sort of attack Matteo is going to put on again, not using his battery down the straight. So thinking of the long game here, maybe trying to conserve his battery for a late charge, perhaps. We've got Jam and Kieran getting super close, and is Kieran going to try and move into Stowe? He doesn't quite. I also believe that Pedro Silva has passed Diogo Silva and is about to attack Debo's left for P8. Here he goes. Down the inside into Stowe, and he makes a move before he even get to the corner. But his contact, Debo goes into the back of him.
That was a scary moment, but they both appear unscathed, hopefully without damage. Definitely no damage on Pedro's car. What about Debo's car? I can't really see. Let's try the back of it. No, it looks okay for now. Yeah, I don't see any damage, and we have a yellow flag. It's Kieran. Kieran's went off, and that is crucial for the Constructors' Championship. Well, actually, not really, because Girolfo is retired. Actually, I think
Debo's the only one out of Mercedes and AlphaTauri in the points. Mercedes and AlphaTauri have had a nightmare evening.
Yeah, I've just been told the only team that can really catch them now is AlphaTauri, because Mercedes have lost their one car. They mathematically can no longer win the Constructors' Championship. So it's just AlphaTauri, but it seems like a long way off. I think this could be in the bag for Alpine. They're out of the point. I think if Samba Samba's ghosted. So I can officially confirm with full confidence that Alpine are your Constructors' Champions for this season, but they want to win this in style. Matteo is trying to close up. They've pretty much theoretically won the Constructors. They want to get the win now.
Yeah, and Matteo might be a reserve, but he is absolutely fighting tooth and nail, and he's been a seriously impressive addition to the F4 grid over the last 6-7 weeks. And he's once again proving his credentials as Roby ran a bit wide there. So, slight mistake here, and is this going to give Matteo a chance down the Wellington Straight? There's something going on from behind. Pedro Silva and Debo have collided by the looks of things.
Yes, they have. Pedro's went off the track. Debo, I think, was scrapping with... It was either Debo or Diogo Silva. They're scrapping. Meanwhile, look how close the two have got. 4 laps to go. Hold on. This might not be Fort Park, but brace yourself. This is going to be a roller coaster ride. 4 laps of mayhem and madness, just like that happened. More mayhem than you can get on Robot Wars, because they just cancelled that. And through cops they come. Less than 2 tenths. By the way, I haven't been checking chat all night. I do apologise. I can only be focused on the action here because I'm just so engrossed in it. We're all so engrossed in it. And the camera work is, let's be honest, shocking. Codemasters. We can take as many pots as we want. It's the last race of the season. We're going to be sacked for the next month until November. Matteo now closing up. Just 2 tenths within it. And Robbie cannot seem to break away. In front of them is going to be actually, who is that? Samba, the ghosted car. You'll have to let them through. They'll be ghosted, so it'll be no big deal. But now the gap seems to go up to half a second now. Meanwhile, behind, Kieran closing up to Charlie Moon.
Yep, indeed he is recovering after that moment off the track earlier on. Kieran not having the race he would have hoped for, but he's obviously the champion now. He's just looking to put on a bit of a show in his final few laps, and you suspect he'll be making a move on Charlie Moon, pretty shortly. Joey picks up another penalty, and that might be crucial as to his finishing position, looking on for his best race of the season, but that penalty could be crucial in where he finishes. And Diogo Silva potentially looking at picking up a few places here, because look at the penalties for the cars in front of him.
Yeah, Joey, it's 11 seconds of penalties. And Kieran closing up to Charlie Moon. And he gets the move done, and into 6 he goes, and Charlie Moon tries to come back at him, but it's a no avail. He's stuck down in 7th place. The gap seems to have increased at the front, and I'm afraid to say for us thrill seekers, 7 tenths now, maybe 8, and it's only going to get worse because look who's in front of them, Samba, and he's ghosted.
Yeah, Matteo trying desperately to stay Roby. Roby's just up to the pace in this last lap or two, and of course he does have a lap less on his tyres, so I do wonder if that's just playing a little bit of a part in things here. And Roby still leading the way, but Matteo's there, and if Roby makes one mistake, Matteo's going to have a shot at the lead.
They've both got the same amount of energy left in their battery, and Kieran gets another penalty, and he has more penalty points than Charlie Moon. 9 seconds to Charlie's 8, and that may be crucial in the final results. But here's Matteo again, half a second he's got the gap down to. No, it's going to be 6 tenths now as he comes out of entry, and it's starting to fall away from the 2-time winner this season. Robbie trying to break away as much as he can. The Red Bull driver. Be fitting way for the season to end, I gotta say. Red Bull haven't won at this track in real life since 2012 with Mark Webber. Fun fact for you F1 lovers, it's only been Mercedes and Ferrari.
Yeah, and Roby trying desperately to join Matteo as a 2-time season 31 race winner, and he's just got a lap and a bit to hold on, but Matteo's getting close, and Roby picks up the penalty, and that could decide it.
Or Matteo has stars in his eyes. He can sense the checkered flag coming the next lap. He doesn't even need to make the move, but he's got to keep it clean. Oh, yeah, Roby's starting to struggle. He's so frustrated.
Yeah, he'll be absolutely fuming. But they were pushing so hard, you can see. I mean, just look at the gap back to Amoy. They're pulling clear still. They are pushing each other along. And just that one track extension was all it required. Matteo's just done a personal best lap. That's how quickly these guys are still going at the front. They're absolutely pushing tooth and nail, and Roby's just gone slightly over the limit. And Matteo, as it stands, is going to continue his win or nothing season.
Oh, her tail late braking into the loop as they come out for the final time down the Wellington Straight, installed in 2010 in the Grand Prix layout. And it's Roby with the penalty. He is going to be looking back with regret, because that's going to cost him the race unless Matteo makes a mistake of his own, which is, let's be honest, quite unlikely considering that he has his logic in his mind. They're now 10 seconds clear of Amboy. They've been pushing so hard. You can tell by the gaps, the numbers don't lie.
It's been absolutely sensational out front, and obviously when you're pushing to those limits, it's so easy to just overdo it slightly. And I was about to say fair play to the three of them for staying penalty free, but Roby just slipping up, and that's all it's taken. And Matteo, barring a major slip up, is about to take his third win of season 31.
Yep, and his second in the trot. And Roby showing a lot of frustration as he's going to cross the line. He's won, but at what cost? A 3-second penalty. That means Armatelo's going to sweep up and be handed the win on a plate. He wins again. Armatelo, your winner, and I think... Let me check. And I think he has got 6th place in the championship. Amboy comes home in 3rd. Jam 4th. Joey holds on, but he's going to get penalties knocking him down. It's Charlie Moon that comes in 5th, or is he? Diogo Silva about to come around the final corner. Where's he going to finish in the order? 7th. He jumped Joey RC and will claim 7th place for the race. Debo about to come through, get 9th. Keke is going to get a point, and that's all he needs to get 3rd place in the championship. By the way, if Roby won this race and Keke finishing in 10th, he would have got 3rd place. So he's also cost himself a championship podium spot. A very unfortunate moment for Roby. Throws away the race win, throws away 3rd in the championship.
A couple of things worth mentioning. Charlie Moon prevents McLaren from not scoring a single point this season, gets their first points in P5, and also well done to Joey. Maybe could have been higher than P8, but it's worth noting that is the first race this season. I didn't realise this first race this season that he's actually taken a checkered flag.
Yay! He finished the race.
And in the
More
points
victory.
as well. So
moral victory, 2 moral victories. And that is the end of the season. And he's driving with me, apparently. No more.
I mean, that race start, I'd say he's a good shout for it. I mean, personally for me, if I had to give a driver of the day, I couldn't look beyond Mateo. I mean, what a drive he's done. And he just kept Roby under the pressure and forced that little mistake out of him. Incredible stuff. And I don't know if Matteo will be in F4 next season. He might even be in F3 because the pace he's shown, he maybe deserves going up a tier. But whatever tier he's in, I'm excited to see how he does because he's clearly he's got a lot of potential.
Yes, indeed. And there's the podium celebration. Everyone's went home because the race is over. Guess they won't want to hear the interviews. Actually, do you want interviews?
I mean, either way, Matteo, obviously we spoke to him last week, he was jubilant then, he's jubilant now, and Roby and Amoy completing a podium. We didn't really see much of Amoy during the race or really talk about him, but he stayed penalty free, his pace was consistent, and he drove a solid race to P3, so you can't say fair on that. Same to Jam in P4, and Charlie Moon as well, doing a decent job in 5th. There were some good drives in the points today, and nice to see some different drivers get in amongst the top 10. Shame for some of those retirements. It was a bit of a scruffy start, but it settled down after that, and we got some great racing.
Absolutely. Can you do me a good favour and invite Armateo into the interview booth? Because we're going to get some interviews done with our three-time winner this season, finishing with 48 points this season. I've got to say, that's one heck of an achievement. He only finished 4 races, and 3 of them are race victories, and that meant he got 6th in the Drivers' Championship. Amoy gets the 5th place with 49. Sorry, Armateo gets 48, just 1 point behind, and Robbie goes up to 64, with Keke going up to 67. So final scores: Kieran wins the season with 102, Jirofu 76, Keke 67, Robbie 64, and 5th Amoy with 49.
Yeah, some solid performances throughout the season. No one can take the championship away from Kieran, both championships, as it turns out. Fair play to him, and he definitely did a lot of the donkey work at Alpine, it's fair to say. So fully deserving, and nice race to end off the season. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens beyond this. Of course, we've got a nice break now until the season gets back underway at the start of November. Just see how many of this grid are still racing against each other next season, because it'd be good to see some of these rivalries continue.
Absolutely. So, just a reminder, we have sign-ups happening. Let me just get the information. Robbie has to dip, and Amoy has to dip, so it's just Armateo in the box, please.
Yep, he's been added, so...
Brilliant. Sign-ups. Let's just talk about sign-ups. Sign-ups are now open for everyone from F1 to F15. Actually, everyone in PC and PlayStation for Season 32 of PSGL. Yes, can you believe it? Season 32. They need to sign up from October 13th, complete the evaluation process, and wait to be placed. So they have to do... everyone has to sign up, by the way. They can't just leave their name there and just say, I raced in Season 31. If they raced in Season 31 twice at least in the season, then you don't have to do an evaluation race. But you have to do an evaluation race if you didn't. The evaluation process will be in the PSGL Discord under F1 instructions. For those of you not aware, it's Belgium, 50% distance, short qualifying, equal performance, remember. Player cars not allowed. Any car can be used. Clear weather, strict corner cutting, park firmly on, safety car off. Assists you plan to use in the league. AIs under your preference, maybe like 60, 50 level. Flashbacks on. Damage off, collisions off. And the strategy should be start on medium, pit for hard at the end of lap 10, and you have to do that or your strategy will result in your race being deemed invalid. And if you cheat, you're only cheating yourself and being placing yourself in the wrong league, and your overall pace is what matters. Drive consistent laps without sacrificing too much speed, yada yada yada. Don't deploy every ERS all over 1 or 2 laps. And submissions must close at 21st of October at 10 p.m. British summer time. So that'll be 11 p.m. for those living in European summer time. Yes, that's about a week before we go back, clocks back. And you have to post a screenshot of the qualifying results screen, your race director as well, so we can have all the lap times. So 3 pictures are needed because, of course, race director is split into 2 parts because you only fit, I think, 14 laps on 1 page. You've got to submit that in. And there's also short qualifying events in the Circuit of the Americas as well. And it's just the short qualifying you do for that. Sorry, Matteo, we're just going over the sign-up procedure for this season. And of course, we've got until 21st November. That's when they'll be placing you in tiers. I've been actually considering, should I race this season? But I'm not sure when I'm working. You see, I'm a flexible worker. I'm not going to say where I work, obviously, but it's pretty unusual timing. So that's why I haven't been doing Mondays consistently this season. Maybe they could do next season, though. As I get the winner's car in Victory Lane. It's an Alpine this time, not an Alfa Romeo. And I've went off the... Not an East, it was a Ferrari last time, because you're reserve. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Well done, Armateo. A winner again, second week in a row. But I have to say, it took a bit of luck considering what happened to Robbie in the last lap. Yeah. You had a fantastic qualifying, by the way. You sit at the final point of qualifying, pretty much, and you just take the pole position off of Kieran, who spun at the first lap, I have to say. It was pretty shocking to see that, but he managed to recover and get some points to give Alpine the Constructors' Championship. Unfortunately, your points don't count being a reserve, but hey, you did your job, and that's all that matters. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I guess it's the race that matters. You're gonna enjoy your. Are you gonna enjoy your break? We'll be back in November. Hopefully, you'll be placed in a higher tier. Are you actually planning to stay in PlayStation, or are you gonna transit to PC for the next season? Because PC's getting popular now. Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Right, shall we go to Jake? You got any questions for our winner tonight?
Yeah, but just first of all, congratulations on the win. Refreshing to hear such a positive attitude towards going forward and trying to progress up the PlayStation tiers. Obviously, you had 3 wins to your name this season. Obviously, this being the third. Is it about ironing out some of the other results going forward to next season? And I just guess last thing from me, I'm guessing you've seen the calendar for season 32. If so, is there any tracks that you're particularly looking forward to next season? I don't think you'll be the first or last driver to dislike Monaco, so you don't think you'll be on your own there. Again, just congratulations on the win and all the best for next season.
Well, there we go. Our winner for the last race this season and clinching 6th place in the Drivers' Championship, despite only starting a very few races compared to all the other drivers, and finishing very few races, I have to say. But he's put the hard work in, and has deservingly got 6th place in this championship. And that is going to do it for this championship. It is all over. We will be back in November for season 32. Remember just to sign up for that. We've already detailed it. Remember to go to the Discord if you want to get all the information, and follow us on Twitter as well. And we've also got a website if you want to check that out too. But yeah, it's going to be quite a long break for all of us, commentators especially.
Yeah, indeed. Just a few weeks to refresh. And to go again next season, and potentially I might be on the racetrack as well, but we shall see.
Well, Alex, thank you all for watching. All the drivers have competed all season. You for watching, and thanks for dealing with us for the past 12 weeks of our weird banter commentary.
Indeed, yeah, and enjoy your break, everyone, and yeah, see you for season 32.
Thank you. Hopefully we get paired up together for full time, but that's all down to the lovely Jess up at the top of the hierarchy there. Of course, our commentator in F1, which is about to start the race, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed, so yeah, more racing still to come tonight. So yeah, keep tuning in to PSGL. Some great racing in the top PlayStation tier, where Matteo hopes to be one day himself.
Yeah, and just to confirm, Marcados has secured pole position for this final race of the season, which has already determined its champion, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. I don't have the graphic for it. Yes, the graphic there. De Nierco has already won the championship. He's on 95 compared to Voucher's 71 with 17 available. So yeah, that's it. Go and watch that. I wish you could raid like we could on Twitch, but you can't do that, I'm afraid. Come on, YouTube. Implement it already. Gets more people watching the stream. Anyway, thank you for watching. Until season 32, I bid you good night.